Okay, so part 2 of Wings review. Now in terms of the fairies, as I've already told you, they are an advanced species of plant. They're just highly evolved, and they somehow evolved to look very much like humans, which is pretty crazy. I'd really like to know how plants evolved to develop brains and movement. They're advanced tumbleweeds, a reference to biology class. It was so funny. The other day in biology, we were looking at ecosystems, and there's a picture of a desert, and he says yeah, and there's these tumbleweed things that they root themselves when they find water, and then when there's no water, they cut themselves off and go tumbling. And a girl in my class literally thought this meant that they moved around. She thought, oh. Oh, they don't move around. Because it's right, the teacher made it sound like, because tumbleweed, I actually used to think that was not a plant. I used to think it was bizarre things that just appeared in westerns out of nowhere. I did not know what they were. I didn't realise they were an actual plant. They look so dead. They look like baskets. So yes, tumbleweed, very cool plant. Anyway, on with these fairies. Okay, so fairies are plants, as I've already said, and okay, yes. These fairies, they obviously must photosynthesize because they're plants. Why? Okay, I've just got a feeling that perhaps they would all be dark-skinned or something at least, because they've got to absorb light, and our skin, you know, Laurel is described as being quite pale-skinned. Well, she's not going to absorb a lot of light that way. Or maybe she works like some white lichen. I mean, I know lichen. I know you can get white lichen, so maybe it works like that. Or something like that. No, I know you can get different chlorophyll. So yeah, no, that's not too big of a problem. I've probably just got different chlorophyll. Okay. Next thing. Okay, these fairies have hair. And this hair can change pigment depending on their diets. So, Tamani, now he must pronounce saying his name differently. His hair is quite dark with little green roots because he eats a lot of moss. Laurel, on the other hand, has really pale hair, really blondish hair, because she eats such a varied diet. Her body can't decide on what colour her hair should be. I just find this bit. I mean, what exactly? Does that influence the chlorophyll pigments? Is their hair the main their hair their leaves? You know, it can't be made out of keratin. That's an animal, you know. Maybe they're just some sort of leaf. Okay, another thing, okay, Tamani can feel pain, which I found very bizarre, considering plants do not have a nervous system. How on earth is Tamani feeling pain? Maybe that these plants have developed a nervous system which would make them seem more like animals, and also how have they moved, because again they'd have to have more animal features, like the whole microfilaments, but it's implying that they've got stems, that they're made up of stems or something. That's really confusing, and like, you can't just put, you've got to have a proper explanation. Gosh, that reflection of my lamp at the back is really distracting. Like when I go in and out of focus with my eyes, I can see it. Ooh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Now the next bit is oh yes, they can't. Laurel finds out she can breathe practically pure oxygen. How? What? No. Plants respire as well. Okay. She may be breathing out oxygen, clearly because that's an easy way to get oxygen out of her body, you know. Her pores will obviously be, you know, like our skin respires or whatever. But that's really annoying because she'll be respiring as well. In fact, she respires more well, she can't photosynthesize at night, so she just respires generally more, so meaning, yes, her breath will contain carbon dioxide, probably the same amount as us, or maybe a little bit less, but she will breathe out more oxygen. But not pure oxygen. What happened to the nitrogen? Where's the nitrogen gone? You know, that's highly unreactive. It's just going to go in and out of her breath. Nitrogen's the biggest makeup of the Earth's atmosphere. It's not suddenly going to vanish. It's not like she can suddenly use nitrogen. You know, if she did that, will she be breaking all the plant laws? No, she eats raw plants. She can only eat sugar and water. Or she can only drink water. She can only have sugar, and she can only eat sort of like basically it's like raw fruit and vegetables to supplement whatever she's missing. She's obviously missing her nitrogen. I mean, where's the nitrogen gone in her breath? It's just not there. It's weird. Okay, and the other thing is not so much the reproduction, but their anatomy. Okay, well, basically, fairies produce in this funny way in that the males produce pollen on their hands. This is so weird. And the females have the flowers on their backs. Only females have the flowers on their backs. And the male will only produce pollen on their hands when they're around a female in bloom. And they basically put the hands into the flower, into the center of the flower to pollinate it, and then a seed is produced, and then they plant the seed, and then the fairy comes out of the flower or something. This is all crazy. Okay, well, this is what annoys me basically. Tamani says yes, that's how we reproduce, it's fragile, and he gets rather embarrassed about it, understandably. But then he says, yes, but we still hurt. He says, sex is for fun. It's like, if you produce by hands in a flower on a girl's back, how have you even evolved sex organs? You shouldn't have, because they don't need them. This is really annoying. Basically, this is turning out more to be like, it's like somebody went and injected humans with something. You know, it'd be more simple to say that we were once humans who got cursed into plant-like things. Like that. That'd be so much more easier. Okay, and the other thing is that they do have magic. These fairies do have magic. Okay, you have 4 fairies. You have the spring fairies. They're the most common. They have, Tamani's a spring fairy. They have this ability called it enticing. Basically, they can attract you to them. Then we've got summer fairies. They mainly can do illusions. Awesome stuff. So basically, anything humans have based fairy lore off, anything they've said about fairies is all caused by these summer fairies. Then you've got autumn or fall fairies. I will call them autumn fairies because I'm English. And essentially their ability is healing. And then you've got winter fairies who are just sort of like super powerful. Spring are the weakest and most common. Then you've got summer, and then autumn, and then finally winter, rarest, most powerful. So, yes, that's pretty much it. The other things, I prefer the American covers, not the UK ones. The American ones are they're just stunning, they're beautiful, whereas the UK ones seem very girly. They're not half as good. The American ones are just very simplistic, very beautiful. They're just pictures of flowers and water. The UK ones are all glittery and yeah. You know, maybe if you made the pink a bit darker or something, it'd be better. Yeah. Okay, so okay, so I'll continue on in part 3 for my verdict on the books.